Why GST rates have been changed again? Will the state's revenue suffer? And what consumers need to know? India has geared up for GST 2.0 with the recent announcement coming from our finance minister. But the real question, apart from the fact that the changes it will bring, lies, will the states actually suffer off because of this reform, or they are going to be the net gainers from the reform that has been introduced? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajraam and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh. Today we are going to decode the reforms that have been introduced in the name of GST 2.0, and the main understanding we'll be going through is the fact, are the states going to be the gainers or losers in terms of revenue from these reforms? So starting with the announcement itself that was made initially by our Prime Minister during his Independence Day speech, now it has been materialized where the GST Council has unanimously passed the proposal of bringing the tax structure to only two rate slabs, that is 5% and 18%. Now this announcement was made by our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and this reform will come into implementation by September of 22nd. Now the idea of choosing this very date of implementation comes from two factors. One, from the cultural factor that the Navratri starts that day, but furthermore, once this season is marked, it is the festive season in our country which boosts the demand. So the effect would be actually seen in real time. So the implementation date is also set, and here from the previous structure where we had four tax slabs of 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%, that has been brought down to only two main slabs, that is 5% and 18%. However, there has been a provision of a special slab of 40% for selective goods. That means for specifically that 40% is on sin goods and it is on ultra luxury items. That clarification has also been given. The goods which are detrimental to the society as a whole, be it tobacco, be it pan masala, be it cigarettes, they have been taxed heavily for the public health and societal good, but at the same time, the luxury goods for the effect on consumer behavior have also been put in this very category. So the impact that we are expecting are going to be huge and monumental, because the simplification that has come, it is going to directly facilitate easier compliance. It is going to reduce the consumer tax burden. That means consumers will be able to buy essential items without feeling the heftiness of the indirect taxes. Furthermore, it will give a direct impetus to economic growth, because as the consumption increases, the demand increases, so does the production, and that will fuel our economic growth as well. So the whole idea that was proposed in the name of GST reforms has been approved by the GST Council, and this has been approved unanimously. Now my question to you here, what do you think is the percentage? Can you tell me in the comment section, when we are talking about unanimous approval, what is the percentage of vote in terms of state as well as center? Can you tell me in the comment section? Now let us understand the major changes and what are the sectors that are going to be directly seeing a change from here on. So the first effect would be on the consumers, where they will be able to save big on daily essentials. Now when you are talking about the daily essentials, you will find the majority of them have been shifted from 18 or 12% to directly 5% slab, be it hair shampoos, pre-packaged namkeens, bhujiyas, butter, ghee, basic items such as sewing machines and parts, they have been shifted to 5%. When we talk about our primary sector workers, the farmers who are actually feeding the country, our primary sector, agriculture, that has also been facilitated, where again from 18 to 12% there has been shift to 5% slab, where tractor tires, parts, tractors itself, pesticides, micronutrients, drip irrigation system, agriculture, horticultural machineries, etc., they have come down to the 5% slab. There we also find there has been a huge relief that has been brought in insurance as well as healthcare sector, where the GST on individual health and life insurance was 18%, has gone down to 0, and this will be a landmark moment which we'll see in terms of provision of insurance, a basic requirement by every common man, and the ease that will be insured by it. Furthermore, multiple commodities in the healthcare sector have dialed down to 5%. We find that education related commodities have also gone to 0%, and then automobiles for especially common man, when we are talking about luxury cars, they have been put in 40%, but automobiles for common man, they have also been brought down in the 18% category. Furthermore, for consumers, electronic appliances again in 18% category. So if you have seen overall rejig that has been done, it will facilitate your pockets, it will make the burden easier on pockets, and it will definitely ensure more consumption that we are expecting, which was the expected change from this very reform. But the main question that comes in from here, that what major change that we will see in terms of state revenue. The benefit from this will be directly towards consumers, as we can see, because there will be reduced tax burden. The frequently used items will directly see a price drop. Furthermore, the compliance has been simplified because the tax rates, the tax slabs are fewer. Then we will see there is reduced confusion if we are talking about consumers also, retailers as well, and this will lead to easier invoicing at the end of retailers and tax filing. That means there will be more tax paying people in the economy. The tax evasion in this situation is expected to reduce, and that will benefit the citizens of the country. This will also lead to enhanced transparency, where there is a clear demarcation what exists as an essential commodity which needs tax relief, and what is a luxury commodity which can be taxed heavily. Furthermore, there will be a direct economic outcome where we are eyeing more consumption. This will lead to higher demand, higher production, and directly fueling economic growth as well. This change in GST will also affect certain sectors in a major way, where they will get a boost. For example, FMCG sector and retail sectors, it is a good news for them as well. So when we are talking about GST, we also have to understand from the perspective of state revenue as well, because that has been a main key concerns by the opposition as well and the states, and it is rightly so. Because whenever we are talking about such reforms, if the state revenues are being hit, that means the common good is going to be hit, or the expenditure that is going on in state, it is going to be hit, the development is going to be hit, and that is why the opposition and many state ministers have gone ahead and asked for compensation, just like when GST was introduced. However, a recent SBI report has clearly highlighted, SBI research report, that states are going to be net gainers. So now let us understand that how states are going to be net gainers. So the first thing that comes from these reforms, that there will be a direct increase in consumption driven revenue. So it is expected that the states will be getting almost 10 lakh crores as per the report from the SGST. Furthermore, there will be additional 4.1 lakh crore that will be coming from devolution that is going to states as per the 14th Finance Commission, and this clearly indicates that almost 14.1 lakh crore worth increase in terms of revenues states will be seeing. So here the reduced GST on essentials will directly result in consumer spending. Then this consumer spending will lead to better GST collection, and many states with large urban population, they will have more benefit. We will also find that the devolution, which is a part of this, that will also be going ahead with the state. Furthermore, apart from the benefit that is coming, SBI research report has also highlighted, let's just say for every rupees 100 that is coming as GST, almost 70% goes to the state itself two components again, one that goes as SGST, second component that goes as devolution. This reform will also help the state in administrative efficiency, the simplification which will lead to lesser tax evasion, and there will be more and better collection in terms of taxation. That will also help the states to increase their revenue, and then we will find that this will facilitate balanced growth. When we are talking about balanced growth, it shows that uniform GST slabs will reduce the interstate tax distortions, which was the very basic idea of one nation, one tax, and it will directly facilitate interstate trade and consumption. And there will be long-term benefits to the state that have been again highlighted by SBI research report, that there might be an initial dip in the revenue, but in the longer term, state will get higher revenue stability as well, and there will be lesser dependence on central transfers for the state. So all this seems like, as the numbers are supporting, that states also stand to gain from GST 2.0, and this is a promising reform that stands in front of our economy, especially in the troublesome and chaotic time in the world. Now that was all from my side. Thank you so much.